wanted to switch it up a bit and help all of my beginner skaters out with things I recommend after my first 4 months of skating. First, I recommend finding a good place to skate. A lot of times you'll see me on this really smooth asphalt or in my backyard. Second is to get as comfortable and confident as you can on your board. At first, and I still do it, you may look like this getting onto your board, but that is completely fine. Also, I recommend you master the basics. There's nothing wrong with taking months to get perfect at pushing and building up that board control to eventually do tricks. I know it may seem like tedious steps, but it'll pay off in the long run, trust me. One of my biggest issues when starting was learning how to push while moving and also just stopping instead of jumping off every time. And finally, it's all about having fun. Skating right now is my favorite hobby, and I definitely recommend it to anyone that's interested. I really hope you enjoyed because...
Alright, this is teaching you how to ollie in less than 30 seconds. This trick's really simple, so all you need is a skateboard, nothing fancy. Alright, the first step you want to practice doing is popping your board onto the floor, like this. Now you want to practice sliding your front foot up to the nose of your board, and you want to get this down good. Now just put steps 1 and 2 together and practice doing them in one single motion. Then start jumping off of your board and boom, you learn how to ollie. It's that simple, just make sure to practice these steps a bunch so you can learn muscle memory.
Do you want to start skateboarding but don't know where to start? Here's what you need to get started. First thing you need to do is build your own skateboard. I recommend getting your skateboard from your local skate shop instead of a department store because everything will function so much better. To build a complete skateboard, you'll need 7 things. A skate deck, grip tape, trucks, wheels, bearings, hardware, and a skate tool. It'll be a good idea to get some pads too. For tips on how to choose the right parts for your skateboard, follow and check out part 2.
How to do an ollie on a skateboard. This trick is very important and it's the most efficient way to go up stuff, down stuff, and with enough practice, anyone can learn it. So beginners and posers, listen up. The first step is to crouch down, and while you're jumping back up, the second step is with the back foot, which should be placed somewhere around here. And its job is to pop the board into the air by simply just pointing your toe. Point and then release about an inch before your foot hits the ground. Practice it with just using your back foot like this until you start to feel very comfortable with this motion. The third step is with the front foot, which should be placed somewhere around here. And its job is to level out the skateboard after your back foot has popped it into the air like that. This is done by dragging the front foot all the way to the nose after the back foot pops. You can practice this motion right here to get you prepared. Try landing with your front wheels first, because this will give you a better understanding of how to drag your foot. And now, with a little bit of practice, you will all know
5 tricks a beginner skateboarder should learn in order. Number 1, starting off with the shove it. Number 2, out of pop for a pop shove it. Number 3, an ollie. Number 4, a frontside or backside 180. Number 5, the kickflip. After these, you can start learning other tricks.
Brutally honest skateboard advice for beginners. Being comfortable riding around is way more important than learning tricks right away. Doing tricks stationary is much harder than doing them while moving. Don't stop by scraping your tail on the ground. As cool as it looks, it'll wear your board down really fast.
The tip that I'm about to give you is probably one of the best tips anyone can give to a beginner, and I wish someone said this to me sooner. But with skating, it's important that you focus on yourself. When you're at the skate park or with your friends, it's really easy to look at other people and see the tricks they're doing, and you ask yourself why you're not doing them. And then you put yourself in a position where you don't really want to skate, you feel strange skating because you feel like you're not making any progression yourself. This happens with me with nollie shoves, and I've only just learned them today. This trick is such an easy trick to quite a few of my friends that it's really easy for me to just brush it off, because at their standard, this isn't that good of a trick. But it's important that you focus on yourself and you celebrate the little wins for yourself. This took me a lot of time and I'm proud of it, so I'm gonna keep going.
This is my 3 top tips for beginners. Tip number 1, stay away from ollies and kickflips. You can come back to those at a later date when you're more comfortable with skateboarding. Tip number 2 is park awareness. Just make sure every now and then you just lift your head up just to make sure you're not in anyone's way. And tip number 3, get used to being comfortable on your skateboard.
How to start skateboarding, part 1. First, you need a skateboard. You can get one online or from any local skate shop. Then start by just trying to balance on it. It might feel a little weird at first, but once you get comfortable, you can try to lift one foot up. Practice lifting the front truck up and down, and get really comfortable with this motion. Then try turning your hips side to side. This motion will give you a little boost and help you feel more comfortable on your board.
Common problems with ollies and how to fix them. Problem number 1, your tail isn't popping off the ground. This is because you're sliding your front foot too early. Try sliding it just slightly later, even take a video so you can adjust. Problem number 2, your tail is popping but your board just rockets. This is because you're sliding too late and you're also not putting enough power into the slide. Try sliding your foot slightly later and also putting more power into it. Click plus if this was helpful or you want a part 2.
This is my 3 top tips for beginners. Tip number 1, stay away from ollies and kickflips. You can come back to those at a later date when you're more comfortable with skateboarding. Tip number 2 is park awareness. Just make sure every now and then you just lift your head up just to make sure you're not in anyone's way. And tip number 3, get used to being comfortable on your skateboard.
How to start your skateboarding journey. If you are someone that's been wanting to learn how to skate and you just got a skateboard, but you have no idea where to start, well, you've come to the right place. So beginners and posers, listen up. The first step is to find out whether you're regular or goofy. You can find this out by trying both and seeing which one is more comfortable for you. But the most important first thing to do is to get comfortable riding your skateboard. Make sure to only use your back foot to push no matter what, and make sure your front foot that's on the board is at a slight angle like this. And after you're done pushing and both feet are now on the board, your back foot should be facing perfectly forward, just like this. Your stance should look pretty similar to this when both feet are riding on the board. To learn how to push, you should practice this little drill right here. And after you've mastered that, try it with a little bit of a push so you go forward, until you learn how to do it very comfortably. Bend your knees and stay low for extra balance. The best way to practice this is by skating all over the place every single day. And now you have everything you need to know.
We are back with some skate tips for beginners. First things first, are you goofy or regular? Goofy is having your right foot forward, regular is having your left foot forward. Here are some tips on how not to ride. Don't do that. No, nope. Not that either. That's more like it. Don't forget to bend your knees. Pushing Mongo gives you less control. And remember, there is no right or wrong way to skateboard. Skateboarding is unique to every individual, and every individual has a unique style. Since you're a beginner, you can pretty much learn anything. So strap on your pads and helmet, and let's get to it. And remember, the more you skate, the better you'll get.